Yep.
Right. All right, guys. Welcome to Hunters Hangout. We've got a lively crew here. I think we're all drunk already. So we're looking at season 5, episode 8, and we're going to hand it over to Trish. Let's see if she can stay in her seat ready.
Thank you, Diablo. It is a great privilege to be here with all of these other hunters, and thank you for letting me be on here with all of you. And I'm going to introduce my other co-host for this evening, starting with the one and only, my favorite Canadian on this whole panel right here, Mr. Brad Goodspeed.
Thank you. I'm monitoring everybody's questions on Facebook, so ask away, and I'll do my best to get them to you. Sorry, I've been not on that much so far this season. I was on vacation, but I'm back now and ready to rock and roll.
He's sucking.
Nice.
Right, and just so you guys know, even though your question is not asked, it still makes you eligible for a prize. A lot of people have been asking about that.
Right. Yeah.
And our other co-host is Miss Jackie Lantern. She will be just handling all the stuff that I'm not qualified to do. So yay, Jackie! And I want to thank all of our sponsors who have helped to make sure that we have some great prizes to give away. And tonight, our prizes are as follows. Fright Props is giving away a bottle of blood.
Fake blood.
Fake blood.
And they're also giving away a bottle of wet.
That just does not sound right.
No.
I'm feeling it.
And Froggy's Dog is giving away a gallon of bog fog. Yay! And Sam Haynes is giving away a download of their CD, Something Wicked Comes This Way. Woohoo! And finally, Sinful Audio is giving away one download of music special effects. Yes, thank you to all of our sponsors. And let's get started. I'm going to turn it all over to Jackie.
Hold up. I think you're missing somebody.
That's what Julie said.
Damn it. That's what. You're missing like a whole sponsor.
Uh-oh.
You know what, folks? We're going to shut this broadcast down and start.
Okay.
We're going to take 5. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks.
And we want to thank Face Factory Effects for the awesome mask that they're giving away. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, Jackie, take
it. I wanted to make sure. All right. First up, we have Aunt Petrone from Eerie Acres Cemetery in Davie, Florida. And Don Presutti and Nicole Moellman from Cryptic Souls Haunted Attraction in Warwick, New York. Anna Martin from Wrongling Brothers' Worst Show on Earth from Naples, Florida.
Oh, yeah.
And Jeff Razzano and Julie Ventura from Razzano's Fright for Hunger in Watervliet, New York.
She killed it. Look at that.
I know.
That's impressive.
All right, let's start with Ant. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your haunt.
My name is Ant, short for Anthony. I live down here in South Florida where it's never not hot, so I apologize if every now and then you hear the band in the background.
And don't call him Tony.
Yeah, don't call me Tony. I run a small yard haunt called Eerie Acres Cemetery. I've been doing it now for about 5 to 6 years, I guess. Yeah, no, 7 years now since we bought the house. It gets bigger every year. I try to keep it themed mostly to just cemetery stuff. And I do a lot of animated props. And this past year, I went all out and built a huge hearse that is now sitting behind me. much to my wife's delight. Takes up most of the garage now. And yeah, so that's about it.
Awesome. Don and Nicole, how about you?
You want to take a part of this?
Sure. We've been doing this for what, 6 years now?
This will be our 6th, I think. Yeah.
And we literally started with like small picket fencing, and now it's like huge facades and fencing. So it's definitely getting a lot bigger. It's taking up the whole front yard.
We do a lot of graveyard themed stuff mostly. And we're just falling in love with it every year. I fall more and more in love with it, and it's just becoming really awesome. Kids love it, so
It works.
I don't ever see it stopping into the foreseeable future. So
No.
Nice.
Awesome. Anna, tell us a little bit about yourself and your hunt.
Let's see. I've been doing it about 6-7 years. And basically with mine, every year my theme changes. So I end up selling a lot of props to other local haunters here in town to start up for a new theme the following year. You know, it started out with inflatables, all those kind of things everybody hates, but you know, it just progressed and progressed. So, and here I am.
Nice. Oh, that's right. I remember you sell all your stuff and start off new every year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what I was saying. This year was a tough one.
I can't even say I hate you because I did the same thing. So.
That's what you said to me last time. You said you hate me.
Right. But see, now I'm like, I got the idea. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be just like that. I did it.
See? You say.
Yep. Can't say nothing now.
But now you're probably going, nah, you didn't sell your stuff this year.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff and Julie, tell us a little bit about yourselves and your hunt.
Why me?
We started about 2003, which is this is our 14th year, and again, we switch everything up every year. We start fresh every year,
But we don't sell anything, so we're like Halloween hoarders.
Yeah,
we're getting there.
we need a bigger house and a bigger garage.
Yeah.
We have fun doing it, and we have a good turnout every year, and everybody has fun. I mean, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. So since we talked a little bit about themes, Ant, do you have a theme?
Yeah, every year, you know, I try to stick to a graveyard, and I try really hard to make sure that everything I build fits within that theme, which is difficult year after year. You know, there's always new things I want to build, but then I've got to, if they don't fit the theme, then they just don't get built. But overall, yeah, it gets to be, you know, pretty hard year after year to just stick with one theme. I don't switch it up year after year. It's always a graveyard. So, yeah, it's always a challenge every year to try to make new things that I haven't built before in the past that will still fit within that theme.
I never really thought about it that way. It's probably harder to keep the theme like that.
Yeah, right. Because you sell all your stuff, right?
Yeah, I just look here.
So let's just say that you got to figure there's got to be something you always wanted to build, a theme you wanted to go, but you know you can't do it. What would that be?
It's kind of cheap. One of the things I've always wanted to build is an interactive electric chair, where I wanted to give people a chance to actually electrocute their friends.
Nice.
I thought that'd be a lot of fun. I wanted to do it with a whole, a whole wall with the chair in front of it, and then your friends get to throw the switch on you. And so I've always wanted to do that, you know. And I thought that'd be a lot of fun. It would make for a fun photo op, and who doesn't want to electrocute their friends from time to time? So I've always wanted to do that, but it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it just doesn't fit. You know, so it's like I may do it and just kind of put it off to the side when you're on the side of the house, kind of like as a photo op. But then it's where do I put it? That's my other thing. You know,
I had a couple of questions for you regarding
that's the reason I haven't done it.
Haunting in Florida. Anthony Lordigan wants to know: does the humid air of Florida have an effect on animatronics? And Brian Van Camp wants to know: how do you deal with the bugs in your haunt within your climate?
Yeah, I mean, definitely weather plays a big part of it. You know, it's incredibly humid here, so I keep everything in the garage, and every now and then I'll have to deal with some things warping from just being in the garage and the humidity, but really it's the rain that's the real killer down here in South Florida, because October is usually right at the end of hurricane season. Like last year, I remember I put everything up, and then 2 days later I had to take everything back down when we had that hurricane last year that was threatening to hit us. So it was up for 2 days, tore it all back down, and then the hurricane sat out there for like 4 or 5 days, you know, threatening to hit us. So it was another week or two before I even got to put everything back up. So it's definitely a challenge to make sure everything is as waterproof as possible. And there are certain things that I bring back in every night, so it's kind of difficult. So like every night there's a lot of animated props I put out, and then every night I got to bring them back in again. Just because I don't want want them to get rained on.
Yeah, that stinks.
So it becomes routine after a while. Every night I put them out, and every night I take them back in.
Hey, that's what people don't understand, man. The struggles.
It is definitely a struggle for sure.
Don and Nicole, how about you? Do you have a theme, and do you change it every year, or does it stay the same?
No, we pretty much stay the same. We're a graveyard also. And just like Ann said, I won't really build anything that doesn't fit into the graveyard. I'm not going to go throw a clown into the graveyard because that's kind of just it's a little weird.
I tried to convince him
clowns die too.
Clown. I tried to convince him last year to do clowns, and then we had the big clown scare up here where there was clown sightings and police were involved, so they said no clowns at all, and it got shut down by us. So I was like, that's not happening. But even though we try to stay graveyard themed, we build things off of it. So it's like you'll go through a graveyard into something else, So we try to make it bigger and try to make a maze of it, sort of.
Right. But yeah, we generally try to stay single themed. So.
Debbie Smith Wright wants to know when you start setting up.
Oh geez.
Oh man, I usually start laying out tombstones and stuff like that mid-September, and then I'll use a lot of my time to dial in my lighting. I am huge on my lighting because lighting sets the scene and shadows and everything. If my lighting's not right, she screams at me because I'll be out there till midnight tweaking with lights, and I'll set one thing an hour early. I'm like, no, I don't like that anymore. I got to change that. So.
Like 1 year, our lights literally looked like the police pulled on our driveway from all the strobes, so we were like, that can't be like that all night.
I had like neighbors looking out their windows and stuff. It was weird. It's like, no, we're fine. Everything's fine. I promise. It's just the weird haunter people across the street. It's fine.
So Anna, correct me if I'm wrong, but you sell your stuff every year, correct?
Correct. Except for last year. That was a toughie after that whole clown thing and all of that.
So tell us about some of the themes that you've had in the past.
And
what your most recent one was.
The one I did last year was I took a little spin on the Wrongling brothers, so I called it the Wrongling Brothers, worst show on earth. And it was more like an old-timey kind of circus, kind of things just don't look kind of right type of thing, not really gory. That was the thing. I bought all these masks not knowing what direction I was going to go in. So I have all these wonderful gory clown masks and stuff that I never used, but
which are for sale.
Which I have for sale.
Because you sell them every year.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, all I keep is like the skeletons and skulls, things like that, PVC pipe, foam. I keep that kind of stuff. But I mean, a lot of the stuff just goes. Unless I know what theme I'm going to do next year, and then I can, kind of alter things, then I just sell them. I just don't have the room. I don't have the room.
How do you sell them? Did you go to like a flea market, or or they're sold on the spot because everybody knows you're selling them?
Well, here's the hilarious thing. One year I did pirates, and that was like the favorite of everyone. And I had, it was funny, but I had the whole thing set up, but I was having a garage sale. And then this was like a week before Halloween. And people were coming up and they wanted to buy, okay, I'm having a pirate theme wedding. I need this and I need that. So I was just selling it off before Halloween. I was just like, oh, okay. I was like, you want to give me that kind of cash? I said, go ahead. And so I think I had little 4 or 5 things on Halloween, and that was it. So
Maximus Christian Bryant wants to know, how cost effective is selling everything each year? Is it worth it?
I do make some money on some of the unique pieces. I do make some money on those. So, do I break even? Probably not. I said, but, it's fun. And I do make, a lot of money back. And so I use it for stuff for next year.
Anthony Lordigan wants to know, is there one prop you wish you never sold?
Well, there's a.
We want
I'm trying to think.
we want to get into your regrets here. This is a deep, hard-hitting interview show.
Yeah. Well, I love my the one year I did the Pirates. I had this big, huge gold mound with the thing on top, and it was just like this whole scene. And it was one of my son's friends that had come. She says, "Oh my God, this thing looks just like out of the Pirates of the Caribbean. I love this." And then I loved it. And no, but I ended up selling it because the price was right. I said, I sold my soul. I said, somebody came and wanted it.
Over after that.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff and Julie, tell us do you have a theme or you
We
change
switch
it
every year.
Every
switch
single
every
year
year?
we switch it up. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So what was your most recent theme?
Alice in Wonderland, or it was
Underland.
Underland.
Alice in Underland.
Yeah. Welcome to Underland.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We did all kinds of stuff. We had little Alice in Wonderland area that's back there. We had some morphed out clowns for Tweedledum, Tweedledee. There. Oh my God, I gotta think now.
We had the rabbit.
Yeah, we had the rabbit. We had the Mad Hatter. Just weird things, you know. So it worked out good. Kids liked it. You know, they knew what it was when they got in there. They said, "Uh-oh," but they thought it was different, you know. And we try to stay different and stay, you know, I don't know. We just try to keep them guessing, and that's why they keep coming back. I think, you know,
They always
because it's
wanna
so
see what's
different every
new
year. Plus,
every
we
year,
had
yeah.
the panels that we got from Stuart Smith. So we got those. We had those in the clown area, and they loved that. They did we did the chroma depth hallway
3D.
with the 3D glasses, and they had a blast with that. So it makes it really pop, you know.
Michael Power wanted to know about the background or the origins of the Fight for Hunger. You guys can maybe talk about that a little bit.
Well, we were basically just starting into the actual where we had volunteers. So we'd done it, you know, like a yard display. It was kind of like a walkthrough yard display, had, you know, props out, but then we started getting into the actors, and we figured, well, we'll start doing something for the community, you know, because there was a lot of people. We're not in a really wealthy area, so you know, we had a soup kitchen at a local church that, you know, we knew of, so we decided to start, you know, collecting food for the hungry, and they would do soup kitchens and hand out baskets at Thanksgiving and so on and so forth. So now we do non-perishable items and canned goods, and in lieu of a admission fee, and then donate it over to the church.
Yeah, we're up to three organizations we donate to.
Wow.
So
That's
we
awesome.
starting to pick up pretty fast. Our attendance is about 1160 in 9 hours. That's what we have to pull
Wow.
through.
Wow.
So we definitely do get a lot of canned goods and non-perishable items, and that's a beautiful thing. I mean, they really make out pretty well. That's good.
That's awesome.
How many things have you guys gone through in 14 years? That's what I want to know.
Every year it's different.
And you still have them.
And
What
I
do you
mean,
do?
when I mean
Oh
different,
yeah,
I mean, if you saw my garage, my house,
we
and-
repurpose a lot though. You
Yeah.
know, so what might be something last year is going to be totally different this year.
oh god,
so
yeah.
we repurpose a lot of stuff. The only thing I can't really repurpose is this year's, because I mean, well, where are you going to stick a caterpillar, you know, or where are you going to stick flowers, or, you know, stuff like that.
Right there,
That one-
It's probably the
That one
wrong
will just-
crowd to ask where they're
Right.
going to stick a caterpillar.
yeah.
Yeah. There'll be a lot of
So-
comments on that one.
But yeah, we can use the panels. But we can use the panels again. We can keep those in the clown area and just change. We just change up everything. We change the maze up every year. We change the rooms up where they are in the haunt. You know, they don't know what's going on when they come in.
We do have a lot of people that come through the haunt yearly. I mean, regulars. We have people that come from Michigan, wherever you guys are, Diablo, and we got people all over. Yeah,
all over the
Jersey.
place.
They come all over, but you know, they come to see what we changed, and it's usually everything.
Yeah.
And even the direction where we bring them into is totally different. So I think they come really for the change and see what we did different.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very
Uh,
cool.
Darren Smith wants to know: do you guys ever get code inspections doing?
It's funny that was mentioned because
Oh, yeah.
I have a rental property that I rent to tenants, and every year we have to do a they have to do a code inspection.
That was this year,
Actually,
wasn't it?
every 3 years. And it happened to be this past
Was
year.
it this year or was it last year?
It was last year, yeah. Anyway, for that matter, we have a lot of support from our city, police department, and the code enforcement. So we've been very reluctant. I should say we're really pretty lucky
Yep.
that they let us do what we do. No, I don't know if the laws are different there, but technically it can come down in a day,
That's not happening.
and that never happens.
Oh,
It takes us, yeah, it takes us middle of August on through to Halloween to set up.
Oh, yeah.
Because you have to build it from the bottom up again. So, I mean, we don't have a building big enough, so.
Oh, to answer that question, though, code enforcement is very supportive. They've had no problems in the past, and it's been very we've been pretty fortunate so far. Yeah, so it's been good.
Nice.
Question from Patricia Langston: what are your best tips for keeping the budget under control? Patricia, my answer would be get another hobby, but maybe you guys.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding. There you go.
Ding, ding.
Is this one for everybody?
Yeah, it's for
Yeah.
anyone. Whoever.
Okay. Ant, let's start with you. Ant.
As far as budget
Don't make
goes,
us make
I
the crickets, Ant.
Sorry. I don't normally set a budget. You know, 'cause every year, like I said, it comes down to what I plan on building for that year, and it's whatever design I come up with. Like I said, it's just I usually only do like 1 to 2 big things every year, or new things, I guess I should say. So I don't normally set a budget for that. But then again, I don't normally spend too much. Like I think my hearse is probably the biggest budget build I've done, and I did a lot of that actually using gift cards I got back on my credit card, because a lot of it was all just stuff bought at Home Depot, just the wood and the metal work and stuff like that. So I try to do that a lot. Like I'll try to get Amazon gift cards back for my rewards and Home Depot gift cards and things like that. But I don't normally set a budget, because if I did, there'd be no point. I would just blow through it anyway. So there's just really no point even setting one, really.
Don and Nicole, how about you?
No, I'm definitely taking this one.
Excuse me.
Mama's taking it.
Well, guys, it's been fun.
No, like usually we make a list of ideas that we want, but if there wasn't a budget that I was really, really strict about, he would spend as much money as all of his paychecks would be. So usually we'll pick like one big idea that we both really like, and then we'll agree on a budget for it, but we definitely have to budget, otherwise it'd be thousands spent.
Yeah,
and we would go out of control because he loves building stuff and buying stuff. So.
My internet bookmark list is endless. It's just there's so much stuff.
And he'll be like, "Can I buy this?" And I'm like, "Do we pay the
next week, huh?
Like, do we pay the credit card bills?"
Anna, how about you?
Oh, I know.
I don't really have a budget per se. I just kind of control myself, really, and whether the kids have to eat this week or not, that kind of thing. It's like, can you guys live on bread and water this week? Okay, cool.
Exactly.
Jeff and Julie, how about you?
Well, I have like a 0 budget. So this one, though, has like, she's just throwing money everywhere, and I'm sitting there going, I need screws for this. It's getting to the point where I start this gets him really mad every year. Like if I change something up for the next year, repurpose it, I even save the screws on it, and then he gets mad because he shoves them through his hand or something with the drill bit. So yeah, he says no more repurposing screws. So
I was wondering when the first one was coming out.
Dude, I was waiting for it like the whole show.
I love that. That's like the best nickname for haunting ever.
like
Is throwing money everywhere.
These crooked things in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't like that.
I just don't I don't want to feel like there's a cap on my budget. But the screws, I'll tell you something right now, guys. I'm going to give you all a tip right now to anybody that's out there doing any kind of haunt, or anybody that's a haunter. don't use old screws. Trust me.
I got a whole for like 3 years. For 3 years,
I'm telling you. See?
I'm telling you.
Like, what do you mean you need more screws?
This is like a rated G. This is rated G.
No. Yeah, look, if you can't reuse your screws, stop going like this. Like you don't know how to drill.
You don't even know. That one year when he ended up sick afterwards and in the hospital, his son and I took the horn apart. Now, you know, the screw is straight when it goes in. When we're trying to get it unscrewed, it's coming out, it's all warped and corkscrewed and stuff. We were just pulling it down and just smashing it with hammers because we couldn't even get the thing apart. Said, holy cow, I never saw anybody do that.
Them you have to get rid of. You can't save them.
Cow.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I've been through that taking apart my hunt because I get a lot of volunteers to come take it apart. And so you're thankful of all the help, but you hear some guy over there. And you're just like,
that screw's never coming out.
Yeah. I had to take a sawzall to some of mine last year. It just kept bumping in to the panels, and like they would shift because.
I just want to take
Jesus.
I just want to take a brief moment to just mention something to the audience. I'm getting lots of questions that are sort of for everyone. They're great. I'll ask them when I can, but it kind of disrupts the whole section by section thing that we're doing. So try and give me lots of questions for individual people, and those ones will tend to get asked a little bit more. But I do have a lot of them here. So, anyways.
All right. On that note, we're going to move along to photos.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And
all right. All
right. What are we looking at here?
I don't see the photo yet. Where is it?
Oh,
there it is. It's at the bottom there. Okay, so obviously that's the hearse I was building this year, and the biggest design I wanted to make for the hearse was it needed to pack flat. So you really probably can't tell right now, but that's it behind me. It all lays in flat pieces, and the mirror behind me is the infinity illusion that I made for the back of it. So the way I designed it, it was a frame. It's big too. It's 12 feet long by just over 4 feet wide, I believe. And all in all, it's about 7 feet tall. I think that was after I lowered it quite a bit. And the way I designed it was I designed it so that the frame goes up with 4 steel legs that screw into the bottom of it, and then the walls they go down into slats in the frame, and then the front and back go on and screw together, and that kind of gives us support to the walls and the whole thing. And I was able, normally I can do it by myself, put it up and take it back down. It's not too difficult, and that's there with the wheels and everything going on it there. And one of the things I wanted to do was I really wanted to do something unique with the inside of the hearse. Originally I was toying with the idea of having some sort of projection. I really wanted to do a projection that would hit all the windows at one time, and it just wasn't financially feasible. Like I said, I don't have a budget, but then again, I'm not going to just spend a fortune on something either. So I started thinking of all kinds of different things to put inside the hearse, and I've always wanted to do an infinity illusion. And I had just never gotten around to it. And so then the idea came to me to do an infinity illusion inside the hearse. And the way I designed it was that when you look
really nice, man.
I was really proud of it too. And the way it works is that sits right behind the rear window that you saw in those other pictures there, and the side windows are you can still see through the side of the hearse. So people got a big kick out of that. So as they would walk around the hearse, you could see the graveyard, when looking through the sides of it. But once you got to the rear of it, you see this, this infinity illusion here. And that was all done actually with plexiglass and mirror tint for home windows. And a lot of people said that wouldn't work, but luckily, knock on wood, it worked for me. I was able to get the tint to adhere to the plexiglass really easily. I didn't have any real issues with it. And one of the neat things, in messing with it, I built a bunch of them on a smaller scale, and realized that 2 feet was about the optimal depth that I really wanted to get the repeating effect. And I learned a lot of things too. Like one of the things I learned, which you don't want.
Uh-oh, remix.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Aunt, you were dropping such knowledge, the government censored you there.
Oh.
Breaking up there, buddy.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
That was pretty cool.
Can you hear us,
I
Aunt?
don't think you can hear us.
No, I couldn't hear you guys. What was that?
No, you just had. I think you had a broadband drop out
You
there.
froze.
Sounds like you're back
sorry
now.
about that. Okay.
Couple questions for you regarding your hearse. From Christine Campbell wants to know, where did you get the wheels for your hearse? And Nikki Spawn wants to know where you got the mirror on the back of the hearse.
So the wheels are from a store here in Florida called At Home. I guess it's a national chain. I'm not really sure. They sell those as actually part of their summer collection, and they were really cheap too. I want to say I got all 4 wheels for like $120. I think they're like 40 a piece for the big ones in the back and 30 a piece for the front. And then, as I was saying, the mirrors, I made the mirrors myself. I made those with plexiglass that I bought from Home Depot and mirror tint that I also got from Home Depot. So like I was saying, I was able to build a lot of this hearse, with gift cards to Home Depot. So it really didn't cost me a whole lot to build the project overall. I just kind of spread it out over a few months and everything. And yeah, so the mirrors were all handmade. The skulls are from Nightmare
Makers.
Oh, what's that? Nightmare Makers, right?
Right.
On Facebook here, I think so.
Yep.
The name escapes me now.
Melanie
Hancock.
Yes. So that's where the skulls came from. And then another neat thing in messing with it, what I liked, because the mirrors are plexiglass, I was able to add depth to the illusion itself on the rear mirror by making it convex. Kind of, I have the rear mirror kind of points towards the other one. And by doing that by just about an inch or so, it added like 40 feet to the illusion, which is really cool. So there's a board that goes across the back of it, and I just kind of made some shims and sat there one night and kind of just messed with the depth of field on it. And so by adding like 2 inches to it with some shims on the rear mirror, and it kind of comes to a point towards the other one, it added, like I said, like 40 to 60 feet to it. And it made the illusion just all that better, all the much better.
Tim Wilkie wants to know how long total you think you spent working on the hearse.
Because of the budget, like I said, I was trying not to spend a whole lot out of pocket on it. I would say it probably took me about 4 to 5 months to get everything done. That was just based solely on, and there were a lot of design changes too that went with it, like messing with the curtains. I had gone through a couple different iterations on the curtains and things like that. And then I decided at the last second that I wanted to put the talking skeleton on it. So then I had to do some reworking on that, how I had the seat to hide the electronics and things like that, because I switched that over to work on an Arduino this year using the 4-banger setup for the Arduino. So he gets triggered, and then I added the horse to it as well, the big horse skeleton from Home Depot. And I set it up so that when the Arduino triggered, the skeleton gives his whole speech, and then when he's done, it triggered the horse as well once he was done giving his speech. Yep, there you go, see? And yeah, and the lights, those are just lights that were on clearance at Home Depot. I think I paid $5 a piece for them. I frosted them with the spray frost, dropped some tea lights in them real quick. The only thing that was kind of pricey were the onlays you see there on the side. I got those from Amazon and then just painted them gold. They were white originally when I got them. Those things are incredibly fragile, by the way. If you ever buy any of those things from Amazon, I had to like order them 4 or 5 times. I kept sending them back because every time they arrived, they were just broken into pieces. Yeah, and there's the electronics there. You can see they're kind of tucked up underneath the driver's seat, and then I put the hole there for the PRR sensor to go through, so that it would trigger as people walked in front of the hearse there. And that was my one really big thing that I really wanted to make last year, and people loved it. Like I said, people were they were tripping out by walking around, and a lot of them couldn't wrap their head around being able to see through the windows one way, but then when you looked in the back window, you just see this massive,
right?
Thing that went on forever with all the bones. It was funny, actually. A lot of the adults couldn't figure out how I did it. It was the kids that figured out how I did it, and that's what the inside of it looks like there with the front mirror taken off. So you can kind of see the box that I made there, and that's So it's a big box. It's just slightly smaller than the hearse itself. That way, I could actually get it up into the hearse, and it gives clearance for the walls. But it's a rather large box. I think it's got to be about 4 feet tall, maybe almost 5 feet tall, by 2 feet deep, and about almost 4 feet wide. And then there were, so and there was just the random bones on the bottom there, and it worked really well. Like I said, that was another thing. Once I had the hearse built, I built the hearse before building the illusion, so that took about a month or so to get that right. Finding out how deep it needed to be and things like that. So it was really cool.
It's all on your YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, it's all on my YouTube channel. Yep.
Yep, and that YouTube channel is in the description of the intro and the show.
Yeah,
So
so for those of you who are asking about if there's videos about that stuff, that's where you go look for it. Question from Chris Hausen, sorry, mispronounced your name. Any thoughts about going pro one day?
You know, I've thought about it, and it's so much work doing what I do now that I don't think I'd ever want to take. I don't think I'd ever want to go pro with it. You know, I mean, it's already so much work just trying to do everything that I do now. I have thought about maybe trying to expand into my backyard. I have a really big backyard with an entrance on either side of my house, and I would eventually, if I ever could, I would love to do an actual walkthrough of the backyard.
Oh, that'd be nice. I love the projection you got up there. That thing's huge, man.
Yeah, that was new at Home Depot this year. That animated projector up there. They had them there. I think they were like $20 or $30, and they came with different slides. And it's an outdoor thing, and you can't tell from the still picture, but it actually kind of moves back and forth a little bit.
Did you have to put something behind it, or you just shot it right up?
I just shot it right up on that dark spot of the house up there, and it's far, and it's actually behind the big tree. So I wanted it to be really freaking huge. So the projector is actually really, and the amazing thing about it is it's crystal clear, which really blew my mind, because I've had some of those other ones before in the past similar to that, and you could just never get a sharp picture. But the one they had at Home Depot last year, the it's a razor crisp image on that wall there, even blowing up that big. And, none of the detail gets lost. It keeps its image really well.
I'm gonna have to get me one of them damn things.
Yeah, they were super cool. They came with a couple different skulls and stuff like that.
How did I miss that on there, man? I was at Home Depot 100 times last year. I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was actually one of those things that was barely noticeable. They just kind of had them in like one of those pallet things full of LED lights. It was with the LED lights is what it was. It was kind of like on the bottom. And they didn't really have it displayed very well. I just kind of happened to find it by mistake. And when I saw there was $30, I was like, oh, whatever, I'll try it out. And honestly, I was really impressed with the quality of it. It sat outside the whole month with raining on it. It never had any problems with the rain. And, the image stayed nice the whole time.
Nice.
So we're looking at that's the back of the graveyard there, closest to the wall. That's my Jack Daniels statue.
Yeah, dude, I always love the old Jack Daniels. I seen a little hat on the wall. I was like, that's Jack right there.
That is absolutely a Jack statue. My neighbor was kind enough to give me. His son used to deliver for one of the ABC liquors around here, and that was a Jack Daniels Christmas display from like 4 or 5 years ago. And they had it just kind of sitting in the garage, and it was all white at first for Christmas and everything, and it just sat in their garage for like a year. And finally I asked him, I was like, what are you doing with that? He's like, oh, I'm going to throw it away. I was like, I'll take it. So I took it, I painted it up, made it look like stone and everything. And this is the entrance there. That's one of my stag heads. I have 2 of those columns side by side that the people walk through to get into the graveyard there along the sidewalk. And those deer head actually came from Target. They were on clearance one year. That was another Christmas item, actually. That was a Christmas deer head that Target had for whatever reason. So those went on clearance one year. I picked those up, put those on there.
For your morbid Christmas fantasies.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I'll take anything I can find to make things out of it. I don't care.
Yeah.
I thought it was an odd Christmas decoration to begin with. Right. It's like, oh, here's my deer head. It sits on a table.
Merry Christmas. Happy death.
And question from Donald Garza. How do you get your lights to look so separated in color in the yard?
So, like Don was saying too, I spend a lot of time working on my lights, and I'm really lucky that I have that hideous tree in the front yard there that looks horrible for the whole rest of the year, but works really well for Halloween. That tree looks like that all year. There's never any leaves on it. It just looks like crap all year. So I'm really lucky that I'm able to use that where I get the lights in the tree, and I'm able to shine the lights down all around the yard from the tree, and the lights are pretty well hidden by the tree itself, and then I shine a lot of lights up into the tree. That's one of the first things I do before anything else goes out into the yard is I do all the lighting, and then I just constantly mess with it throughout the month because it takes a 10-foot ladder to get up into that tree to get all those lights in there. So it takes about an entire day of just putting lights in that tree to get everything ready, to get everything down and on the ground and everything.
Matt Burke wants to know, do you use actors or is it just a static or just a display?
It's just a display. I mean, I've got a lot of animated props. I do eventually want to. I have a big issue where I get too many people that get onto the sidewalk to try to get up to get the candy, and they start kind of bunching up, and people start kind of getting off the sidewalk. So eventually, I would like to hire an actor, like an undertaker kind of, that would be working at the funeral home or the graveyard there. Kind of just to pulse the line a little bit so that not everyone tries to rush up onto my sidewalk, because this year wasn't so bad, but the year before got to the point where I had too many people on the sidewalk, and they were like knocking the lanterns off the columns. They were stepping into the graveyard, trying to walk around one another, trying to walk through the tombstones and stuff. And they were just tripping on the wires. You can't tell, obviously, in the pictures, but all of the lanterns and all of the candles, those are all run on a 12-volt system that I made with the flickering LEDs in it. And they all run on black RCA cabling. So there's a million tiny black RCA wires throughout the whole yard, feeding all of those individual candles, all of those individual lanterns. So it's rather bothersome when people try to walk through the yard. So this year, I would like to have an actor, kind of like I said, as an undertaker, who would pulse the line a little bit. I thought it'd be kind of funny if he takes their measurements for like their coffin and things like that, just to try to slow things down a little. So that's my goal for this year. I would like to have an actor this year, just for that purpose, though.
Very
How many
awesome.
trick-or-treaters do you get? How many trick-or-treaters do you get?
I would say probably about 600 trick-or-treaters. I'd say we probably see about 800 people in all with the adults, because later in the night it's all just drunk adults that show up.
Look at me.
We're out there about midnight, especially if Halloween falls on a weekend. We're absolutely out there till like midnight, if not later, when people still coming by and everything. But yeah, we get a good crowd every year. It grows more and more, and every year, despite my best efforts, we constantly run out of candy. And I'm constantly sending people back out to go get more candy at the last second. So I think last year was probably our biggest at around, I'd say, 400 to 600 in this past year.
Nice.
So.
Wow. Great pictures. Thank you. I think next we have Don and Nicole.
Yeah, that's us.
Oh, that's, yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. Brett, do you have a question in the meantime? Oh, I don't see it.
No?
I don't see it.
No?
It's for us.
Yep.
I see it.
Pardon me.
It's
well,
right there.
There it is. No, wait. There it is.
Right in
I
front of
still
you.
don't see it.
Don and Nicole,
I see it.
people today, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's that time of year when people are getting their credit card statements or anything, but a lot of people are asking about what kind of budget do you start out with for each year?
What budget? Every year, I mean, like Nicole said earlier, we try to just set a list of things we want to buy, or a theme, like a prop we want to build. Like last year, we built like this 6.5 foot tall werewolf, and I was lucky enough to be able to get a bunch of free foam for that. So, I mean, we don't really set a monetary budget, but we just try to pick and choose off the list what we're gonna build, and whatever it costs, it costs. So.
I mean, but we also won't go like astronomical. Like we're not spending thousands.
I try not to. I try to keep it at 1,000 cap usually. That's pretty much what we spend every year. So we're building slowly. We're out of a lot of the 31,000 members of Haunters Hangout, we're small time compared to some of you guys. So.
All right, looks like our pictures are working again here.
Hey, there you go.
Tell us a little bit about this one.
Take that.
So I'm like a spiderweb fanatic. It drives him nuts. I want spiderwebs everywhere. Actually, the way we did this is you can kind of see in this picture how there's like white string behind it. Yeah, what he's holding. We do white string behind the whole spiderweb because actually in New York we get the rain and wind at the end of October, so it destroys it. Like completely destroys it, and actually when we did this, it stayed perfectly intact.
Yeah, we make like a nice grid out of it. I mean, a bunch of little squares, like a checkerboard behind it, and you can roll the string and spider webs in your fingers, and it'll stick to it, and it holds up pretty nice.
I would say we probably get like 15 bags of spider webs every year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't I'm gonna say the S word. I don't shop at Spirit as much anymore, but I do go there for
The spider webs.
I do go there for their bags of 100-foot spider webs for sure, because you can't beat it for $10.
Max Bryan wants to know how long you guys spend putting all that up there, if you have mentioned that already.
Those spider webs, that usually takes us about a day to get it stretched out right and get all the string up, and we'll probably spend 6-7 hours out there getting that up just so it looks good.
Like solid 8 hours.
And
getting
that,
it all together.
just for reference, that's 2 or 3 bags of those big Spirit Halloween bags of spider webs that we just keep laying it over and laying it over.
Do you guys
But
make
this year,
did you guys make this prop here?
no, that's a store-bought prop. Actually, I had 2 of those. The one they sent me had broke, and they sent me another one for free and told me to keep that one. So I used one of those. Yeah, I used one of those to build the werewolf last year. I just repurposed it.
Did you break it yourself, or?
Well, I mean, it depends on who you ask. I mean, I tried to put a bigger speaker on it, and I think I just overloaded it, and I popped the speaker that came with it. So I just called them and it was like, hey, listen, this thing doesn't talk. I took it out of the box. It doesn't talk. They're like, well, you can keep that one. We'll send you another one.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
That's what I figured.
Yeah, well, you know. Take that one.
All right, tell us about this photo here.
We have, I think I counted last year, and I could be wrong, but I think we have 58 tombstones.
51.
Wow.
All together, and we built some of our own, we made some of our own, and then a lot of those we bought at like tons of places. My dad goes to auctions and he'll be like, oh, I found more tombstones, and like, all right, we'll fit it somewhere. This actually is on the left side of our yard, and this is like our first time extending down that way as far as we did and putting tombstones down that way. That's to the left of the spider webs in that last picture.
Yeah, that's actually right in front of the big spider's nest right there.
I gotcha. The webs look really nice, man.
Thank you.
That's
amazing. And you can see there's that red light over there in the back left corner of the fencing. That's where that last prop you just showed. That's Pestilence the Reaper, and he usually stands there. And I still had him red. So
Lori Ross wants to know, how do you take the webs down? And Chris Wilhausen wants to know, do you ever reuse the webbing?
Absolutely not.
There's no way.
There's no way.
We rip it down and it goes into a big bowl and it goes in the garbage can.
It goes in the garbage. I just take my knife and I cut all the string down and we put it into a giant ball.
Because you have to remember, being in New York, where all the leaves are falling off the tree, so on top of the rain, wind, and everything that destroys it along the way, we get a ton of leaves stuck in it. So to repurpose it would be useless.
And that tree, but there's 2 trees between that, and they all have like those big heart-shaped leaves. So they just fill that thing with leaves. Man.
I got a comment, Diablo, just so you know, on the Facebook feed from Trish Redding saying, I've run out of wine. I'll be right back. So.
Yeah, Trish.
Yes.
I thought she fell down in her chair. I was like, Trish the chair ready.
Okay, tell us a little bit about this picture here.
Let me take that one. I actually carved all of those letters out of blue foam board from Home Depot. And I just painted them black and then put like an orange rusty color over them. It's not exactly how I wanted it to look, but it did for last year. Because last year, 2016, was actually the first year we actually named the graveyard. So.
And apparently, he says I came up with a name. I don't 100% remember that, but if I did, I'll take the credit for it.
She doesn't remember ever spitting out the word Cryptic Souls. So, like, and then
that's what I do on my best work, man, when I'm drunk.
And then the back of it.
Hey, listen.
What it's nailed to is actually it's like that polyfoam trim that you put in your house for like crown molding and stuff like that. And I was working on a job site and a guy was going to throw away like these huge sections of it, so I just took it and I used that and I painted it gray and kind of sponged it to make it look a little like stone.
Nice.
Question from Christine Campbell: How do you make your webs withstand the weather? Snow ruins ours every year.
We've gotten lucky to not get snow in what, 5 Halloweens?
Don't jinx it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the snow would definitely ruin them. But as far as making them last, using that grid behind it is going to be your lifesaver, because that tough white string, you don't see it when all the lights are on it. In the picture you can see it, but like in person you really can't. That's going to stop the wind from blowing it. It's going to stop it from sagging from the wetness of the snow. So definitely get something behind it and then just layer a ton over it.
Because we make a grid out of this stuff to go in the back, and then before we lay the second layer, I kind of put just a few strips across, like not so as aggressive as I did or as in depth as the back, but just to kind of give like an extra rigidity from front and back from the layers of spiderweb.
Chris Wazen wants to know which of the two of you is more into Halloween.
That'd be me, 100%.
It's definitely him. I enjoyed more working at the haunted houses and kind of like doing the bigger type stuff. But this is a lot of fun because the kids, starting in September, they're like trying to sneak into our yard, seeing what we're starting to build. And I like it. I like it because it's fun. And I also like the aspect of the kids enjoying it. But he's definitely way more January looking at props. It takes me until like a month before October before I start looking at stuff.
Oh, wow, you showed that picture. Okay.
You said it.
Hey, I mentioned the picket fences.
Yeah, I think that was actually our second year ever doing anything. The first year was literally just that white fence on the right side of the picture and like 4 tombstones and a Reaper skeleton prop I bought from CVS.
Yes.
I was just trying to show it, from here to there.
Yeah, no, I can't even believe that's where we started till now, man. That is.
There's actually a picture that's on my phone. That's from our first year that I found, and we were like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, the graveyard was probably like
3 feet,
3 foot by 4 foot. It was so tiny.
Oh, this is a good picture.
I like that one.
That is our Rising Girl doll that I bought him for because his birthday's in October. It's the beginning of October, so he's always like, I want Halloween props. So one year I bought like him like 3 or 4 Halloween props, and that was one of them.
It was that one. It was
Cerberus,
and one other one. I can't remember which one it was.
I can't remember if you guys mentioned this earlier, but Mary Fender wants to know what year you guys started.
If it was 6 years ago, that would make it 2011.
So 2011, I would say 2011 we started doing like just a display, if you could even call it that. It was like dollar store tombstones and stuff like that, and like battery powered strobe lights from Walmart. And but the past 3 years is when we really kind of stepped our game up, and I started putting like nice fencing up. I built those panels in the back of this picture, stuff like that. So
question from Michael Skaggs wants to know what kind of wine Trish just went and got.
Home brew.
There you go.
Are you really supposed to brew wine?
So she's like home brew. No, hold on. Now that we got you, do you have a question for somebody on the panel there?
To me?
Yeah.
No, I'm a spectator at the moment. Y'all just carry on.
It's like a glass chalice that she's drinking out of too.
Ain't it cute?
Oh, there you go.
I'll get with y'all in a minute. Y'all just carry on.
Crystal Dawn wants to know, do you ever hire a professional photographer or videographer to capture your haunt?
You can take this one.
They asked you, but I do photography, so a lot of the pictures I've taken. There's a girl who actually works local to us. She's a news reporter, and she actually won a contest for photo of the day in October with one of the photos from our haunt.
It was actually that picture that you just had before. That was the one that won the contest.
A lot of it, though, like I have the bigger camera, so it's kind of hard to get the lighting right, but when I can, the photos come out really good. So not like super professional grade, but definitely not cell phone quality either.
This one was 2 years ago before I actually built my pillars.
And then here are your pillars.
Yeah, I built those this year.
The cool thing about the pillars is my brother actually works construction down in the city, and he donated all the foam that he had laying around from a job that he no longer needed. And so all we had to buy were the little
1x3s.
Yeah, the 1x3s.
I bought
All the
1x2s.
foam was there. So we got really lucky with that.
Yeah, they didn't cost me much.
What do you think that is?
Oh, that's this guy. That's this guy right here over my shoulder.
Hanging there staring at us.
I made a noose and I just kind of hung him in the tree. He got a lot of attention. People were like freaked out by him because he would he spins around and like stuff will hit him in like his the creepy cloth stuff. Yeah, on him will hit people in the face and they freak him out for some reason.
And in the back, there's the witch, and that's the first year we did a witch.
Yeah.
And actually, our neighbor up the road got rid of her, and we were like, how are we going to use her? Like, trying to figure it out. And I was like, why don't we make it look like there's this whole thing going on? I don't know if there's a picture in here that really shows it, but there's tombstones in a circle around her, and I put birds surrounding her. There's all crows on them, and like there's skulls on the ground around the fire. We used a fire and ice light to make it look like it was burning underneath the cauldron.
There's a stack of wood there. That's
Bob
me.
Qual-
That's him.
Nice.
Bob Qual wants to know what you guys do for sound.
Last year, I had what 3 different sounds going for the werewolf and then the ambient, and I forget what I had in the spider tunnel. But last year I used YouTube, but this year I actually built my own audio track, and I'm gonna play that for ambient. I'm in the process of building one for the werewolf, and I made some for the witch's cabin we're gonna do this year. Shout out to Troy. I don't know how to say his last name. Something. But Troy's a cool cat, but he helped me out with that. He sent me some cool stuff, and he helped me. He turned me on to Audacity and stuff like that. So thanks to Troy for that.
Well, we also used the storm box.
Oh yeah, last year was the first year I had the perfect storm box. That was the other thing. And I love that thing because I got like these huge freaking strobe lights I got from a yard sale for like $1 a piece. Fantastic.
Awesome. Okay. So Anna, I was going to ask you a question and it totally escaped me here. Oh, how many days are you open per season?
Approximately 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I start, just like Ant said, it's the rain is what, I have to take into consideration. So usually 2 weeks.
And is it 2 weeks in a right in a row then?
Yeah, like 2 weeks before Halloween.
Leading up to?
Yeah.
All right, Jeff and Julie, how about you? How many days are you open per season?
We open up like 3 to 4 days per season, and it's only 3 hours a night. Except for Halloween, we have a kids walk, and that's 2 hours, and it's just kids. There's no scare actors, lights on, and this is so they can benefit of seeing the haunt as well. And that's only like a 2 hour span. We get a lot of kids. We have like 50 kids, 60 kids that come through, all dressed up in little Halloween costumes and things like that. But then our night shift is from 6:30 to 9:30. And again, it depends. It depends on the year. It's hard because we have a curfew here. I don't know if anybody else has a curfew, but it's a 10 o'clock curfew on Halloween. And we have to get them in and out before 10 o'clock. Anybody that's 18 years or younger have to be home basically at their houses, which I don't remember that when I was younger, but I ignored it. But anyway, we try to get them in and out on Halloween. It's if it's a weekend, we try to clip it on to into Halloween. So now this year it's gonna be Tuesday, so we'll probably do Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and we'll close out on Halloween. If Halloween closes out like on a weekend, like on a Saturday, we'll go to November 1st. But usually it's 3 days.
Awesome. And how about you?
I try to be open for the whole month, whenever it's possible. Like I said, this past year, there was a good whole week before I could open. I ended up being just shy of 3 weeks, I think, is what I was open this past year. But normally by the end of September, depending on what day is the weekend would fall on. I'm either doing it the last weekend of September or the first weekend in October. Is usually when I set up. So, but I think going in the future, I think I'm going to actually save myself that first week and actually try to get out to go see other people's things this year, I think.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That would be nice.
Yeah. So I never get to do it. Every year, everyone's like, oh, you got to go see go see Shallow Grave and go see all these, actual like pro haunts that pop up here in Florida. And I never get to go because it's like, oh, I don't want to leave my stuff out there for the weekend, and it's a pain. So I think this year, I'm going to purposefully wait a week to set up this year, just so I can get out there and see all the other stuff this year.
Don and Nicole, how about you?
We're actually the only ones, I guess, on here right now that are only open for Halloween night. We've thought about in the past going, like, if it's a weekday, opening that weekend before so kids can come through and there's no curfew. I know someone before mentioned a curfew. We do have one because way back when I was little, a bunch of kids got really rambunctious and basically were spray painting cop cars, and our town didn't take too nice to that. So now there's a curfew. But we're open one day, and literally we are tweaking lights literally until people start showing up. We're making sure like everything's perfect. So we, even though we're only open for one day, we make sure it's like worth the time to come by and like.
I'm thinking that this year, because Halloween is on a Tuesday, I think this year I'm gonna try to open up the weekend before, and try to like be able to come through. Because our neighborhood and our town is, it's like it's middle class to like lower upper class folks. You know what I mean? They got a lot of young kids. So, and there's maybe 2 other houses in our town that do Halloween like we do, and that's it. Like there's a lot of people who do like general stuff, like little stuff, like a green light on their porch and some spider webs. But at the scale we do, there's like 3 houses maybe. So
yeah,
we're gonna try to open up the weekend before this year.
Well, you don't want too much competition. Come on.
Yeah, I know. And I think this year I'm actually trying to put together a contest for our town this year for Halloween decorating. So
trying to get people more into it.
Yeah, I've been in talks with the mayor's office, so I'm trying to get more people into it because I don't want Halloween to die at some point. So
just run for mayor.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's mandatory to live in this town. You have to do Halloween.
Yeah, no, thank you. I'll pass. I can't. I'm not a politician. I'm a haunter, damn it. I like skulls for everybody. That's it. Vote for me.
All right, are we ready to go with Anna's pictures?
Oh, she got pictures?
No.
That would be a no.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
Yeah, that was the ticket booth and the sign that I made this year. Well, I should say my husband made the booth, and I did the whole sign. This was the first year that I actually dremeled, so it was like recessed in, and that thing was pretty huge. It was like about maybe 9 feet across.
Wow.
I mean, you can see it from a while, like way across the street. And but boy, what a mess. I will never do that again. I don't know what possessed me to do that, but I was really happy the way it turned out, and I still have it. I love that sign.
I think
it's really cool.
That is really amazing.
I love the lighting on it. That's really cool.
Right. That's the only thing that her husband complains about. Like when he walks by, he's like, "Jesus, really?" And
it's funny though. The last week or so, when it's crunch time or whatever, he helps me. Oh no, that looks terrible like that. Let's do it like this. And I'm like, leave the artistic expression to me. I said, you are the mechanical guy. You do the this is where I want it. Figure it out.
Hey, the haters always have their 2 cents at the end, don't they?
They do. He loved it.
Yeah, babe.
Hey.
Bob Boy, I think is how you pronounce his last name, wanted to know if you've ever done a theme that you would like to do over again, to do another time.
I know you guys. I know Diablo's gonna hate me, but I love the pirates. What can I say? I love it. That was like the funnest one I ever did. And can I tell you, the one I did last year, the one with the circus, I still hate it. It was my sons. My sons wanted to do a circus, And I said, okay, let's do the circus. And I wasn't sure why. I just really wasn't. I mean, I liked it and everything, but I really wasn't into it. And one of my other haunter friends said to me, too much color. She goes, you don't like color. The year before, I had done the plague masks with the doctors, and the whole, it was just all the plague. And I loved it because it was like kind of dark and dreary and just gray. And the circus thing was too much color for me. But
Mike Blumoff wanted to know, Anna, did the trick-or-treaters interact with the ticket booth at all?
Yeah, a little bit. They were kind of, the guy inside, he actually moves, and we had like all the tickets in his hands, so it was motion activated. And so when they would come up, yeah, he would kind of move and they would freak out, and that whole thing. So yeah, so it was fun.
So tell us a little bit about this photo here. Looks like it's just another angle, but we can see more.
Yeah, essentially what I was trying to do is kind of like, when you walk into like a circus or like over at the Wrongling, that they have like suitcases everywhere and shoes everywhere. And that's kind of what I was doing. It's like there's the mask and and then, the one creepy guy coming out of the suitcase, just like really weird, like some things are weird there. There's something strange. So that's kind of where I was going with the Wrongling.
It looks really good.
Thanks,
I
Ann.
love that ticket booth.
Yeah.
Thanks for moving up.
Yeah.
So, the Amazing Pigmen.
That my sister-in-law found that on the side of the road. It was like something from like Home Goods, and it was like all these angels, and it was pretty, and so I just transformed it.
Oh,
No angels here.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna go to hell. So yeah, I just made them. I put clay on them, and I kind of did their faces up and got rid of the wings, and
Oh God, it's so wrong.
Taking wings from angels is what we do.
They worked really hard to get those.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going straight to hell for that.
I'm going to hell.
Somebody ring a bell. Somebody
Yeah.
needs some things.
See, that would have freaked me out if somebody would have rang a bell. I'm like, oh my God.
Tell us about this guy here.
Okay, so that all he is just one of my skellies. He's my organ grinder. I had a party also inside the house, and when you walked in, that's what you saw. And I had one of those fire and ice, just the straight bulbs coming up from the top, and then I had like little spots on his on the monkey on the side, and then the cage, and then I had a black light shining from going in, so it would just, and it was like just like a 3 volt or a 6 volt, so it would just light up like the eye and the 5 cents and just little things. It wouldn't light up the whole thing. So it came across really well.
Really cool.
Jesus. It's too dark.
All right, what about this picture here?
And that one, that was a horse that I found, and I kind of repainted and redid and just kind of put that creepy little skeleton on top. And then at the very top, there's like a hand, like a old timey.
I like
Yeah.
Yeah, like from back from the 30s and the 40s, that you'd go to these things and they had the hand pointing this way and that way. And
Cool.
and I did a lot of those through the inside, where you go to this website called blockposters.com, and you can enlarge a lot of things. So I had a lot of I got kind of like the idea from Pandora when she did those silhouettes, but instead I wanted huge silhouettes of clowns. So you go on this website, and if you find a good JPEG picture, you can like literally blow these things up. So I had some, I don't know if the next picture will show it, but they were like really tall clowns all along, from in the house and at different locations. So, they looked really creepy.
This thing is really creepy.
Dude, I love that.
That grid is insane.
That's awesome.
And that thing is a paper mache ball that was about, I don't know, like about.
Damn it! You had to go there, didn't you?
Yeah, it was like it was huge. It was huge, and the whole trick was I was trying to figure out so it wouldn't cave in on itself. So, but you know, it came out pretty good.
That's awesome.
It's creepy.
Matt Burke wants to know, Ann, how do you keep the fresh ideas coming in?
Basically, I love Pinterest. What can I say?
Yeah, don't we all?
I love Pinterest. That's where I get a lot of ideas, and then you know, a lot of my friends on Facebook that are also all into it, and you all, you know, it's just everybody, you know, like right now where I have and my background here, these are actual, you know, like when you guys did, everybody was doing the milk jug skulls, and I'm like thinking, well, what can you do with that? I said, I don't want skulls this year or whatever. So then I have these resin pumpkin faces, and I did the milk jug skull technique, and this is what I came up with. And then that thing too, and so, you know, I get ideas from people, what people are doing, and just trying to make it to what I want to do for that year. Maybe I can incorporate it.
Love that clown, man. That thing's killer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, he's scary.
You wuss.
And then we had kind of like, my son's a DJ, so we had kind of like, what do they call it? Techno swing kind of music on. So it made it kind of creepy, and then he mixed it in with some other kind of music there, and it was just very kind of, you know, that's what we had going through it.
Cool.
And those are some of the boxes that I just made to look like little suitcases, like suitcases everywhere, like to fill in places.
I like that one on the left. I think it's cool. I like the patina on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's basically just you know, rubbing it off, taking it on, you know, rubbing it on, taking it off.
That one's cool.
That one was a Christmas box that I just transformed too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So now you're
definitely got that eye.
Defiling
Got
angels
that eye.
and Christmas.
Yeah, you know, that's like a hangout, like the axes. Like Christmas and angels.
I know.
That's street cred. What are you talking about? That's
yeah, we can't say that though.
I just did, man. I just did.
I know.
Hands, Brad, hands. You see them hands?
They're here somewhere.
Hey, Brad, do you have any questions for the panel while we get Jeff and Julie's
Questions
photos ready?
for the whole panel. What theme? Tom Wilkie wants to know, what theme have you not done that you would like to try without giving away secrets that you don't want to expose?
Jeff and Julie, let's start with you.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
A theme that we want to do that we haven't tried. Well, I don't know. We've done so many now. It's like
they've been hot for 14 years. Now what's left?
Yeah. What haven't we done already? This year's is going to be hard.
Oh yeah, this year's gonna be, yeah.
This year's is going to be hard. We're doing a horror movie theme, so we're going to take like sets from different horror movies.
Wow.
Yeah, that's our theme this year. So that'll be interesting.
It's gonna be gory, very gory. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. It's gonna be bad.
And how about you? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It'll be cool.
Yeah, it will.
That's a super good idea. I can't wait to see pictures for that one.
Me too. That sounds intriguing.
Very cool. All right, Ant, how about you?
If I ever decided to do a different theme, I was going to do a zombie theme. And at one point, I did kind of start working on one where I tried to make a lot of my things interactive as well. Like a lot of my animated props and everything I do, I want people to interact with things. So at one point, I was making a laser target. You know, I bought giant zombie targets for, you know, that you would take to an actual gun range. They actually sell those. So I bought these actual zombie targets that you would actually shoot with a real gun. And I had mounted a photocell sensor right in its forehead. and I had wired up LEDs, and I had it rigged up with and I had a toy gun where I put a laser pointer in it, so that whenever you would pull the trigger, the laser would turn on. And I had it set up in such a way using that sensor along with the relay that if you got a headshot on the zombie target, the eyes would light up essentially. And I thought it'd be fun to have people kind of go out there and practice shooting the zombies and see if they could get the headshots on the zombies and things like that. And I had started doing a little bit of work on, possibly doing a zombie thing at some point, but like I said, I never did. I just kind of stuck with the graveyard again.
Yeah, I knew you had something up your sleeve working with something on the side. He's talking about that I'm all doing just graveyard. I knew something was up.
Donnie, Nicole, how about you?
What about you? What would you like to see us do?
I want to do clowns because we didn't get to do it. I want like a creepy, like almost like demonic clowns, not like the frilly stuff. Like I want it to be like evil, where kids are gonna be running scared down the street type clowns.
Right. I would like to do like a junkyard wasteland kind of thing. I think that'd be kind of cool. You like if you ever seen the movie Wolf Creek, at the end of that where they're like in the junkyard, he's like chasing him around. Yeah, I mean, I think that'd be kind of cool.
Hey, Anna's got some shit for sale. I'm just saying.
Yeah. And it's getting cheaper.
It's getting cheaper. Closer to hot
We're gonna
season.
DM you after this.
we may be in touch for the 2018 season.
Well, Anna, how about you?
Well, I've always thought, since being here in Florida, everything is so green, and I always love all you guys' haunt that has all these dead leaves and everything. And I thought one year, why don't I work with the green? And I was thinking more like a swampy type of theme, rotting, swamping, things coming out of, and they're going to be green. So,
Yeah.
That's a great idea. All right, are we ready for Jeff and Julie's pictures?
Oh, boy.
Here we go again. Put me on the spot.
All right, tell us about this one. That's cool.
Go ahead.
That's one of the three-dimensional panels Stuart Smith made.
The chroma depth.
The chroma depth panels.
Those things are awesome.
Oh, I tell you, you got to see them in person. They're just amazing.
We worked for a haunt here. I won't drop any names, but he did a whole terror under the big top, and he had a bunch of stuff like that. So they're very detailed.
I can imagine that's probably beautiful in person.
Oh,
yeah. I went to a whole haunt with all its stuff in it. And it was like amazing. It's like stuff like jumped off a wall, like huge. You're like, holy shit's right in front of you.
Yeah. It comes right out at you. I mean, you just put those glasses on, it feels like you could just it's right in your face. It's like, wow. Yeah, they're really nice panels.
Yeah, there's more. That's more of them.
Did you have these custom made?
Yes.
We didn't want to go with just like a clown theme because we do a bunch of different themes, so we wanted to be able to repurpose them. And then, Jeff said they're like trees, so we do a lot with, you could do it a foresty theme. We could do a lot with them. So we didn't want to just stick it specifically to clowns. So
be cool. You could do like a purgatory theme with those too. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. I have to say that's like one of the most depressing things why I didn't go to Transworld, because he actually did a class there. So I'm pretty depressed I missed that.
There's a caterpillar. That's awesome.
Yeah, there's part of our Wonderland. He's our fogger. So he fogs, comes out his mouth like he's smoking his hookah.
Dude, he looks high. He looks high, dude. He's like, that's some good shit right there.
Baked, man.
Big flowers are cool too.
Yeah, she put a lot of time in those, the skulls and.
I don't know. We just tried to take, some scene and just add to it, out of the movie. Try to condense it into one area. That's Jeff's work right there.
That's really good.
I like the prop in the door too. That's really scary looking over there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the prop in
the door. Oh, it's funny. I want to bring something up.
Who is that?
It's one of the volunteers.
Is it,
yeah.
That's Amber's dad.
Looks like Fester.
Now, is that a
noticed
static
that.
prop
Yeah.
or does he move?
Dude, you guys would freak out if it start moving right now in the picture.
Yeah, right.
Oh, it's flat.
It'd be creepy.
Oh, it's awesome.
Charles, that was
That's
Queen of Hearts and Alice.
Alice.
And we had like a weird the Mad Hatter area was like more of a like cannibalistic tea party.
That's
So
cool.
we had a guy in a pig mask, you know, being butchering stuff and bringing it into the tea party for, you know, dinner. So really cool.
She sounded this.
Oh, she's so
This
funny.
volunteer sounded exactly like her. She
You,
just
you'd
was
hear her, she's off
the
with your
same
head.
height.
And she's
same
coming after him
everything.
with an axe.
Oh.
She was really funny.
Perfect
She was a
part.
riot. Love Candy. They've been with us for a long time. There's Jeff at MHC.
That's MHC right there.
Yep.
Yeah, MHC.
That was his costume for this year.
Well, but
He was
Crystal
the Mad
Dawn.
Hatter.
Crystal Dawn wants to know what's your favorite part of prop building? Assembling, painting, designing, dumpster diving, etc. I know for me, it's the dumpster diving. Yeah.
Yeah.
My
I
wife
found a
walked
leftover
over there.
turkey sandwich one time. That was good.
Oh, that's awful.
That was mine. I was a rabbit this year.
Mine is basically creating and trying to introduce something that hasn't been done. Easy to do that, but not like like Julie likes the Pinterest and things like that, and a lot of people do. I don't get on there because I don't want to blur my vision. Like certain things I see, I don't want to mix in with anything else, and I try to be creative in that sense. And I like to try to create new stuff. So
The costumes are great, man. These are great.
This is a great
Blast with
costume.
those.
Anthony Lordigan wants to know, Jeff and Julie, what did you make the flowers out of?
You're gonna laugh. They're badminton rackets, and I cut out cardboard. Yeah, you're gonna laugh. I'll show you.
You're right.
But I cut out cardboard and I melted plastic to them. So they're just basic clear
Wow.
plastic, and I'll show you. There's one right there. But they're interesting. They took forever, and I wired them all to the tennis rackets, the badminton rackets, and then put them in PVC. And then a pool noodle I melted around the bottom for their stems. But it'll laugh. Julia Rydell used to laugh about it. She goes, "Oh my God, did you use a badminton racket?" I said, "Hey, I'm a scrapper. I've got to work with whatever I can get, you know. Plus, we have really bad weather, so it's got to hold up, or else, you know, cardboard's not going to work." So I'll show you.
Plus, who actually plays badminton anyway? It's not like they're getting
That's
used.
a witch area.
is that a
I
sport?
do.
This is a great.
So 80s.
Tell us about this photo here. This is a good one.
I'll show them.
Oh, she has one.
They're just plastic.
Oh shit, you did do that.
You're not going to use that, are you?
No,
Badminton?
no, I don't need that.
Tell us
How about this
photo.
picture?
Yeah, this is a great
That's the
picture.
witch area. That's the witch's area. She's got her cauldron brewing, and that used to be, that's like my area. I love doing the witch because I love scaring the heck out of the kids. And we had our ticket, or what is she? What do we consider her?
What?
Our monitor out front.
Oh, we have
Peacekeeper?
yeah.
She wanted to act this year after like 5 years, 6 years with us. So we said, okay, we'll put you in as the witch.
Right.
So she went in there this year.
She used to be our door person. She used to tell everybody the rules, make sure they clarified the rules, because we do have a long list of rules, and make sure everybody knows everything that's going on, lighting the whole nine. And she decided that this year, I want to act. Well,
Okay.
you know what? All the years she's been volunteering her time, we wanted to accommodate her this year, and we did that. And she became a witch, and she was really great at it.
Since you guys switch up themes so much, this question is good for you from Matt Burke. Do you find any theme is off limits or something that is overplayed and overused? Both those ideas. Any themes that you guys feel
I don't
qualified
know.
for
You
those?
guys, that's a bad question because everybody says that the Chainsaw Massacre is overrated and the guy with the chainsaws, but every year, and my son runs around with a chainsaw and the Leatherface mask. he comes out of different areas in the back. They know he's there, but those kids, they still face plant as they're running away from him. They're just scared, to death of him. So we have him every year somewhere in the haunt, and no problem without it. Clowns,
what
we do
about
clowns every year. We try to use something that we know, like bugs. That we try to hit everybody's fears. Like if somebody's scared of clowns, we'll have a clown area. We'll have a bug area. We try to incorporate all that so that we get. Everybody that comes through is going to be scared of something. So
the other part?
I don't think anything's overplayed.
The other part to that question was if anything's off limits. Like, what do you think about, turning angels into big people? That kind of
No. We don't make wings from angels.
No.
Cutting wings.
No, that's not off limits. No. I don't know. Like they had that hangman prop one year, and that was causing all that controversy.
Oh, we did that. Remember that time we had that?
I mean,
oh,
people have meltdowns about everything.
I think we try to achieve every year, honestly. And I think everybody does this. I think they see how far they can really push the envelope.
Yeah.
Until it, really not offend somebody, but where it gets to the point where, that's a little extreme.
Yeah.
There's haunters out there that really are like into touching and grabbing and stuff. We absolutely don't do that. That's one thing we will not ever do. So you'll never get that out of our haunt. But we do push it. I mean, even with Alice in Wonderland, we put a huge twist on it this year, which I don't think anybody expected. Alice in Wonderland, where it was Underland, we really made it a lot of darker side of Alice in Wonderland, and I think we just put a twist on things.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody says, okay, well, this is Alice in Wonderland, but really it isn't. It's more of a scary part of Alice in Wonderland. So
Yeah.
we try to change things up in that sense too. So yeah, I think pretty much that answers it.
Yeah.
And if you had to give someone who wanted to start a haunt one piece of advice, what would it be?
Well, don't be afraid to try things. Especially if you see something and you think, I probably wouldn't be able to do that. Absolutely try it. I mean, in the worst case, it doesn't work out, but at least you try it and you can learn from it. There were so many different things. Like for me, I'm really good at mechanical things. I'm really good at building things. I'm not very good at the artistic side of things. But I needed to learn. So, I needed to learn how to do dry brushing, and I needed to learn how to do weathering and things like that. Things that I was like, I would see a lot of amazing paint jobs out there, and I was like, I can't do that. I still can't do it. I'm going to make no mistake. I'm not saying I can do amazing paint jobs, but don't ever be afraid to try something. Like especially when it comes to like building things, or even like I get a lot of people tell me all the time, how'd you build this animated prop? And it's trial and error. Like I said, I'm really mechanically inclined, but still a lot of it, I'll build something and it won't work the way I want it to. And, I'll just have to sit there and keep adjusting it, until I get it to work the way that I expected it to. So my only advice is don't be afraid to try something.
All right. There's a really good group, too, for, that's really helpful. It's Honor something. I don't know the name of
Those
it.
guys are all douchebags. Don't talk to these guys.
Honors
drinking.
I don't know.
Hunter's Lair.
Something. I can't remember the last part.
Can't
Don and Nicole. Don and Nicole, how about you?
I would say just pick a theme that you like. Whether if you're first starting, I mean, just find your favorite horror movie and try that. Something that something you're familiar with, something that's easy for you. Just dive in and do it. That's it.
My opinion would be don't let anyone tell you that your ideas are stupid or that it doesn't make sense. Because to you might have an awesome vision and you want to go forward with it, but if people are in the background telling you that's not going to be cool or no one's going to like it, you're going to get discouraged. So whatever idea you have, just run with it and see where it brings you.
Nice.
Yeah, that was usually my wife for me.
Good for you for taking like the the seminar route on that. That was like team building 101 right there.
Anna, how about you?
She's like, Brad,
Yeah, she was talking about me.
I think the big thing is lighting. I know a lot of times when you start, you forget to light stuff. People can't see it. So even if all you have to do is go to Home Depot this year and just get a couple of their colored, they come out with so many cool things. Get 1 or 2 bulbs and just play with it where you want to put it. And then year after year, you just build up on it, buy them when they go on sale, search, for them. Other haunters on Haunters Hangout will tell you.
That's where to site. Yeah. That's
don't forget about our sponsors. Head on over to Fright.
Yeah. I mean, and they give you a lot of ideas for the lighting. I think the lighting is so important to play with it and just build it up a little. It's expensive, but you build it up year after year.
She's the only one that gets points tonight. The rest of you guys suck.
Damn, I got one over here taking the Moral High Road.
And don't forget to clip the wings off.
Make sure you clip the wings.
Clay.
All right, Jeff and Julie.
I don't like the faces of angels, apparently.
My advice would be, you're actually planning a haunt, and you've got this idea in your head, even if it's just a movie theme or whatever. First and foremost, don't beat yourself up over it. Nobody knows that something's not in place where it should be, but you. Only you. Only you know how you want to see how that looks. To the audience, they don't know you're missing anything or you forgot something. So don't beat yourself up and worry about those little things. I mean, down the road, when years come and you get a little more experience in doing it, yeah, it's going to bother you, but you got to let things go sometimes, because otherwise you will be turning lights on like an hour after the haunt's already been on, or you forgot to do something because you're worrying about the wrong things. So don't beat yourself up over that. So missing. So once you plan it, it doesn't have to go as planned. Right. It doesn't have to go as planned. It really doesn't.
I mean, and another thing is like that no one mentioned that everybody does is like, whenever you get an idea in your head, no matter where you're at work or you're driving around or whatever, always have a little pad of paper. And something always hits you all the time. It's like, oh, that's cool. Oh, skeleton this, and take that piece of paper and put it in a little box, and then you come back to it, and that's. I got a whole giant box. So.
You might not use it that year, though. You might use it for the next year, but it's there and you're not going to forget it. So, absolutely write it down. I totally agree with that.
But, even with that, if you do say, oh, I didn't get to it, guess what? You just started next year's haunt.
Yeah.
Because you didn't get to it this year. Yeah. So that's the first thing you do next year.
All right, Brad, do we have any more questions?
Yeah, sorry guys, my connection's getting really bad, so I'm not hearing a lot of what you guys are saying. So if any of this has been gone over, I apologize. But John Davis wants to know.
Dude, nigga fell asleep.
For those, I'm just hearing blah 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 blah. For those of you that have regular jobs, how many vacation days do you dedicate to Halloween?
Oh.
Zero.
Just 2. Yeah.
Not enough.
Yeah.
About a week.
I give it 2 weeks vacation time.
No, you don't.
Yes,
like
I do. It's 2 weeks.
A week.
I have to break it down.
So for sure, every year I take that day off from work. If Halloween's on a weekday, I always take that day off.
Yeah, me
just
too.
so I can get everything ready for that night.
Yeah.
Nick Christ wants to know, have you ever thought that this might just be the last year? If so, what kept you going?
Ant, let's start with you.
Absolutely not.
No, I mean, it's definitely not something I've ever really wanted to give up on. I enjoy it year after year. Even if things don't always work out the way I want them to, or, for one reason or another, I might not be happy about how a particular thing came out. I still enjoy doing it every year. I got plenty of other hobbies as well, so this isn't my only hobby, so I don't drive myself too nuts with it.
But you never thought one time, like, oh, hell, this is my last year.
I mean, honestly, sometimes, like I said, dragging that stuff in and out, especially if I'm sitting inside watching TV and it starts pouring down rain and I got to haul ass outside to get all the electronics out of the rain and things like that. It is a pain. It's cumbersome. It's annoying sometimes, and it is tiresome because, like I said, I do that for the whole month. All 31 days of October, I'm out there every night, bringing the stuff back in. The next night, putting it back out. And yeah, I mean, it is tiresome. It takes up my whole garage. I have absolutely no place to put anything, but I enjoy it enough to where I don't think any time in the foreseeable future I'll be giving it up. So,
well, I did it 1 year, and I'm gonna tell you guys something. It sucked ass, dude. Even though it was nice, it's like I felt like the most guiltiest person in the whole world. I'm like, oh my god, dude. Yeah, I mean, it was fun working up to it because I was going to all these haunts and going to all these, every night going like 3 haunts. But then right on Halloween, it was like, oh, you suck. took away all the fun time I had to that one day. It was like, you suck.
Yep.
Don and Nicole, how about you?
So just to let you know.
I don't think I'm going to give it up anytime soon. I mean, we're really, the past 2-3 years, we've really just kind of kicked it into gear and really started haunting, if you will.
I don't think we're ever going to give it up, but there's definitely times when we're like, money is so tight or something unexpected came up, whether it's like repair on a car, one of our animals has to go to the vet, and we're like, how are we going to afford it this year?
You mean your horse?
Yeah.
Yeah, the horse.
Oh, yeah. I know that, Bill.
We're like, how are we going to afford this? And then, we're like, oh, we can always just do it like we did last year. But I think last year is the first real year where we repurposed a bunch of stuff and changed it. Mm-hmm. So even though our budget wasn't big, we were still able to do something new that everyone could enjoy. So last year was definitely, even though it was like the most intense, it was definitely the one we struggled the most.
And we got lucky. Our friend up the road, my old boss, his wife used to be big into it until I came into the neighborhood and kind of put her to shame. And she stopped doing it. She actually just gave me all of her haunt stuff, all the stuff that she had. That's like this guy over my shoulder and the witch we had, and some other, like some groundbreakers and stuff like that. She was just like, here, take it. She took a set of 4 chairs we had. She was like, trade me for it. I'm like, all right, let's take it. It's fine. So yeah, I don't see us stopping any time in the relative future here. So.
Anna, how about you?
Sometimes I just tone it down a little bit, and as opposed to what Diablo said, I think he's wrong. Well, the reason I say that is because, like, the year that I said, well, I'm just going to make a couple things or whatever, it's the year that I did the Black Plague thing, and that was like my most creative year. I think, that I thought of doing all these weird things with the plague doctors and whatever. So, and I just had like 3 or 4 props, and that was it. And, everybody loved it. So
no, but you still did it. I did nothing.
But you did nothing.
Well, there's a difference. There's a difference between doing something and nothing. Well,
I mean, I something very, low key is okay.
That's what I did last year. I did something very, very low key, just 1 room, and it was great.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff and Julie, how about you?
I wouldn't stop. I don't know about you.
No. We're too far into it. I think we're lifers.
Yeah.
I really do. we're so much lifers that we're dragging our kids away and say, guess what you're doing tomorrow?
Yeah. I'm trying to drag them into it. So,
in the community, and they look forward to it every single year. In fact, my neighbors are saying, wondering if you were doing it this year because it's kind of late this year. We put things up. What? Are you kidding me?
If the neighbors know that we're behind, you guys got to get stepping up here.
They look up. They look for it. They look for it every year. So it's hard to stop when they're always looking for it. So yeah, no, I don't see us stopping anytime soon.
Trish, are you okay?
I'm great.
Another drink, please.
You got your wine. You haven't fell off your chair.
No, I'm good. I'm just sitting here, just enjoying all this stuff, and I'm good. I'm going to be this popular. I'm going to be popular in just a minute because I get to announce who all the winners are. So I'm cool.
Yeah, there you go.
If she's not stepped out getting more wine, that is.
About 3 glasses. I think I'm done.
Brad, do we have any more questions?
What is Crystal Dawn wants to know? What is something that you would like to attempt with respect to building a prop, but haven't yet done either due to difficulty, time, or financial constraints? Lots of questions about money this week.
Jeff and Julie, let's start with you.
That's a little personal, guys. I mean, Jesus.
April 15. April 15.
Yeah.
Can you repeat that one more time?
No, because I just deleted it. Let me check again. What is something you would like? Control Z. What was something you'd like to attempt with respect to building a prop, but haven't yet due to either difficulty, time, or financial constraints?
Geez,
Difficulty, time, or financial constraints. No, if I want something, I'm going to make it.
Yeah, I have to agree with Julie. On it, we don't stop. We just make sure it happens. So.
Damn.
Yeah,
wow.
That's very impressive.
We're very determined when it comes to
one way or another. Yeah. Either I make it or we buy it, one or the other. So I definitely want something in the haunt. It's definitely it'll be there. So
yes.
Did you guys have that same attitude when you were dating? Like that's how you met each other? Like
no. No.
She's going to be mine. It's going to happen.
No.
Oh my God.
Well, guys, this is stalking.
No.
I wonder what that high school was like.
We just went sideways.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I would like to try to do some pneumatic stuff, man. I would like to try to do some like flying pneumatic stuff overhead or something like that. I just
don't know how.
I don't have the I don't have the know-how, and I don't really have the finances to really build the kind of scale stuff that I would want to. But maybe 1 year. We'll get there 1 year.
eBay, you can find cheap stuff. There's always deals that go around. And I mean, people think that pneumatics is so hard and expensive, but you can find deals, and it gets the only thing that gets expensive is that the fact that you made one. and once you made it, and you're sitting there, and it goes, and it pops up. Dude, that's all it takes right there. Dude, you're hooked right there. Like, holy shit, it popped up. That's it.
I can't believe it worked.
That first.
It's like the Clark Griswold moment.
Dude, that's it. You're hooked. You're hooked after that.
And it only costs $300.
Right.
So I know some of you have mentioned this. I don't remember who. I'm sorry, but approximately how many people did you have last year?
I would say we probably had the same as Ant, somewhere between 4 and 6. But that's also we had a lot this year because we made the paper this year. We made our local town newspaper. So
nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
It was awesome.
Anybody?
But yeah, somewhere between 400 and 600.
Anna, how about you? Do you know?
We didn't have that much this year because of all the clown thing going on. So it was kind of.
Like the whole shunned haunt.
Yeah. Exactly. But if I didn't have the party that I had, we didn't have a lot of kids or anybody coming by. Just, the neighbors that know me and stuff.
All right, Brad, do we have anything else going on Facebook?
No non-financial questions, really.
Really? They're all about money?
Listen, guys, our bank accounts are closed.
Chris Wilhausen wants to know how many volunteers you try and recruit, ideally. We've kind of asked some of those questions earlier. But
We have
about 30.
Oh,
wow, that's a lot.
We're more actor driven than we are anything else.
Yes.
So I mean, because it's not like, oh, that thing's going to jump up at you. You don't know where they are.
That's too
you know?
predictable. Everybody's too
So,
predictable that way. If you
between security, we have about 25, 30, depends on what our layout is, where we can stick
Related to
people.
that, Brian Van Camp asked earlier, what do you do for the actors at the end of the night? Buying them pizza, sloppy joes, or something like that? Like,
Yeah.
Oh, it's a party.
Yeah, they like it's like a feast.
We feed everybody. They drink, they eat. We have a great time. It goes on for like an hour to 2 hours after. Yeah.
Awesome.
Great question from Alan Hops for the whole panel. What aspect of haunting are you best at?
Yeah, let's start with you.
I would say the mechanical side of it. I've always been really inclined at knowing the physics behind armatures and things like that. And so I make like I said, a lot of my things are animated all across the graveyard. And then recently I started adding, I started messing with Arduino last year, and I started messing with servos just because space is really limited for me. So rather than trying to build big animated things last year, I built that small tombstone that had the small animated rats on top of it, and the little animated cat that was sitting below the tombstone kind of looking up at them, and his head turned and the rats went up and down and moved around on top of the tombstone. So but this year I think I'm going to do a little bit bigger animated stuff. As I was mentioning before the show had started, I can never remember the name of the toy, but there's those little kids toys that have the elastic in them, and they're usually in the shape of an animal, and when you press on the bottom they kind of fall apart, and then when you release it, the elastic pulls tight. Yeah, I don't know what the exact name of them is, and I started messing with it last year, where I had the idea of building that as a full-size skeleton, and I thought it'd be super cool to see a pile of bones pull themselves together all the way up into a skeleton. And I was messing with it last year.
So awesome.
Yeah, I got to get back to it this year. I was running into some issues where I was trying to build the armature out of PVC pipe, and it took a lot of force to get 5 foot structure to pull itself tight enough to actually stand up all the way. And I didn't think about it last year about using pneumatics, so I may go back to that this year and make it pneumatic driven to where it would pull the cord for me and get it to stand up. But I'm gonna do it on a smaller scale right now. In the next few weeks, I'm going to build a tombstone with the same idea, where I'm gonna have a tombstone that falls apart and then it pulls itself back together again. So that's what I'm going to do here in the next few weeks. I'm going to try to design that. I've already bought a couple parts. I'm going to try to make that work off, hopefully, if it has enough power, a reindeer motor, so that I can get that slow movement out of it where it slowly kind of crumbles, and then I want it to slowly pull itself back together again. So that definitely, I would say mechanics is definitely my strongest point. So
awesome. John and Nicole?
I would say my strongest suit is once I know exactly where the outline is, I'm really, really good at saying, okay, I think this needs to go here. I think that needs to go there. We need to do the spider webs here. I'm really good at kind of the layout portion of it. He's really good at the ideas and everything that he wants to have. But as far as making the path for people to actually walk through and where everything's going to work, where it's actually scary, it's a group effort, but I'm really good at it.
You're really good at laying out the tombstones.
Yeah.
That's your strong point. For me, I'm the lighting and audio guy for sure. I mean, I take so much damn time in lighting, and I was told that I have to bring this up at some point. So now I came up with a little bit of a hack for lighting. So I use a lot of the Spirit Halloween LED spotlights, and I found they were way too bright and very center focused. So you could just take some, for your blues and your black lights, you can just take blue painter's tape, put over it, and it gives you more of a glow. But for your other colors, you can just use white masking tape and just put it over it, and it'll take it from being a spotlight to a glow and more of an ambient color. So
I've done that with milk jugs, is what I've used in the past.
Yeah, that'll work too. Anything that'll kind of just soften it down, so it kind of has something to disperse through and pixelate through. You know what I mean, if you will. But that's my strong point.
Anna, how about you?
I'd have to say the more the painting and the artistic and the scene setting is more what I like to do, and I leave the mechanics and all of that to the hubster. The hubster.
Jeff and Julie?
I like making stuff. I like to, if I find something that I want to make, budget. So anyway, I have to find stuff or I have to find a way to make it. So like the caterpillar, believe it or not, he's that silver, like accordion air ducting that they use, the industrial sized ones.
Yep.
So, it's just a matter of making that. So how am I going to make that prop? I like to make things out of nothing. So that's probably the most fulfilling part, is I look at something that I want to make and then I try to figure out exactly how I'm going to do it. And unlike some of us. That's probably the best
She
part.
just so gave you a look. Dude, she gave you a look. Dude. It was like,
Dude, you set that up from the get-go. You set that up from the start.
Oh, I got a surprise for you. I bought some panels for the haunt this year. I'm like, really? I got a garbage dump, dumpster dive for stuff, and how much did you spend on panels this year? Yeah.
Not to mention, me, I'm about the strategy and the building and the construction thing, and especially the strategy and where everybody's going to land and where they're going to end up falling and like sort of slamming right into somebody else. So I mean, it's strategy.
Does another question: How much did Jeff spend on those panels?
A lot.
Just kidding.
He gave me what he spent on those panels. I can't even tell you what kind of rooms I could make. I can't even tell you. And that's without buying actually props. I could just, you don't even know. Spend that money. You're going to get the zero budget. See how you.
My cap on the budget. My cap on the budget every year is $2,500. Good thing.
Zero.
Trish.
Yes.
Are you okay still?
I'm great.
All right.
I do have a question though for the whole panel. This is something that happens in my town. I was just wondering if it affects other people. But trunk or treats, whether it's a community trunk or treat or a church trunk or treat, has really, really hurt the neighborhood trick or treating in my town. What has it done to your communities?
I know that we have them, but
sorry, before you answer that, could someone explain what that is? Because I've never heard of that before.
I haven't either.
So
trunk
you
or
want to
treat
explain
is
it,
like
Trish, or?
Trunk or treat is when a bunch of cars line up at a community center or at a church, and the kids just go from one car trunk to the next car trunk, and people just throw candy in their bags.
Oh, boo.
Dude,
Yeah,
I live
they take it a step further.
I live
And
in
they
Detroit. There ain't no one walking up in no trunk.
So what it is they
Dude, that sounds like so
they decorate the trunks is what they do. So a lot of them will try to build a scene in the back of their car.
Right.
So I've actually seen someone posted on Haunters Hangout last year an incredible pirate scene that they built in the back of their SUV that had an actual water fountain in it with running water. And I mean, it was phenomenal that she was able to build all this in the back of her SUV. I mean, it had full size skeletons in it, water.
I want to do that.
I mean, she built an entire
and nobody's been kidnapped at one of these yet, huh?
Well, normally they are, like she was saying, normally it'd be like a church function or a school function, something like that, and all the cars will show up and they'll decorate scenes inside their trunk. And some people will put a lot of work into it. I know that we do have them here, but I don't feel that it's affected Halloween because luckily most of them aren't on Halloween night. Thank God.
Yeah.
So it hasn't really affected Halloween too much here. So.
But I think too, at least I know a lot of it happens too in, at least around where I live, in the rural areas, because to get from one house to the next house to walk, I mean, some of these properties are like 2 acres, and it's like the kid will probably just go to 3 houses trick-or-treating. So I think that's why they do some, here in our town, but they're not as popular though, Trish. I mean, kids still go to trick or treat. They still have the trunk or treat, it's a lot of churches and a lot of religious type of thing,
I think they have like the trunk or treat, like that's like somewhere where the kids go to get extra candy. They're like, oh, let's get some extra stuff before we really get
3 times as much.
That's like the extra stuff because, I don't see that too much. I mean, but
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I do live in the Bible Belt, so maybe that has something to do with it.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's what
I think so too. I definitely see, like I say, I usually see it as a church function more often than not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we don't have that up here, I don't really think.
No,
I mean,
no.
the only thing that affects us is weather. A couple days before Halloween this year, so it's cold, so.
Did you really? You guys got snow up there? We didn't get no snow down here, I think.
Oh yeah, we got it. I was dying. I'm out there with the broom with the tarps, trying to get it all off, shovels.
Snow,
rain,
snow and rain.
That's rough. It's a wet snow too, so it takes all the tarps down. It's a disaster.
Yeah.
Rain is my enemy, man. So I gotta try to hide all my electric good and wrap it in plastic and try to keep it as watertight as possible. Because as haunters, we use 10 million extension cords every year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So every joint and connection.
Well, thank you all so much. It was a great show. Your pictures.
Pleasure to be here.
There you go.
And since
ready for prizes? You ready for prizes?
Trish, settle
I'm
down.
I
was gonna say since Trish is so
we're all waiting to see if she's actually gonna make it through the prize.
I was trying
wait.
to hand it over to her, but she just
hand it over to
jumped for the screen at me.
I'm ready.
Are you ready for the prizes?
Can I have the floor now?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. The winners tonight are as follows. The winner of the Fright Props bottle of fake blood is Cindy Wortman.
Who?
Cindy Wortman. And a fan favorite, the winner of the bottle of wet
is
Patricia Langston.
Say that name
Patricia Langston. The winner of the gallon of bog fog from Froggies is Debbie Smith Wright. The winner of the Sam Haynes download of their CD is Bob Boy, B-O-I-E. The winner of the Sinful Audio download of a music special effects is Angel Grant. And the winner of the item that Julie forgot to mention to me, the
she didn't mention it to you?
No, she didn't, but here, I got it. She set me up. I know she did. The winner of the FFX mask is Brian Van Camp. Congratulations. Please, winners, contact Julie Rydell by April 7th to claim your prizes.
Now you got 10 more to go.
What? I'm done.
Brad.
Yes.
Pick 10 people that named a question.
Oh boy. All right. Brent Wilson.
Okay, all right. We're gonna let Jeff say what the prizes are.
Oh, there you go, because I don't do that stuff.
What we have is the skull LED lights. And they go right into the styrofoam skulls, or I don't think you guys can see this at all.
So what am I doing? You just want me to name 10 names?
10 people that name questions, that ask questions.
All right. Well, tell me if any of these ones have been named before, because.
Okay.
Okay. So Brent Wilson, Chris Wilhusen. Did we get that one in?
No.
Matt Burke.
Nope.
Pat Malloy.
Nope.
Patricia Langston.
Yes, we've already gotten her.
Okay. I don't even know how many I've named so far. You people count for me. Tim Wilkie.
Yes, 6 more.
6 more, man.
Tim Wilkie.
Tim Wilkie's good.
Mike Bloomhuff.
That's good.
One second here. John Davis.
Good.
Linda Marshall.
Good.
Megan Larson.
Good.
Cat Fry.
Good.
How many?
That's it, man. That's all.
That's gotta be 10.
Congratulations.
Hey, we want to thank Jeff and Julie for coming up and giving them extra prizes. We love you guys. Thank you.
Awesome.
And we want to say a few things. We want to thank all the guests for coming on and being like awesome. Have tons of information. You guys are great. And don't forget to get a Hunters Hangout shirt. All the proceeds, everything that's any extra money we get goes to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. So don't forget to get your shirt. And that's the last day will be the first week of May. So just don't wait. Get your shirt. And we have the Fright Props prop challenge. There's a 10% code that's going to be over on the 15th. You know, get your prop on and do that. And we're going to have a couple other specials coming from all of our sponsors. So make sure you get all your prop needs from all of our sponsors. So thank you guys for all coming out. And you guys have been great.
It was fun, guys.
Thank you
so much.
Bye.